morning. Happy Saturday to you all. I am Nancy coming to you live today and on another episode of Postscript Saturday. A little PS to our real estate week where I share with you some of the behind the scenes at Love to List and what's real day-to-day happenings, as well as an opportunity to inform and educate you, the consumer, on the value of working with a professional realtor when buying, selling, or investing. And it's the holiday weekend. We just had July 4th, and I have to say I really have enjoyed taking advantage of the downtime. And it's so important to have downtime in our lives. And I'm dressed casually. I have no appointments today. It's interesting though, things can shift and change quite quickly in my business. You never know when you're going to get that phone call. But so I'm ready to go get my walk in and work out and lots of personal projects that I'm working on this weekend. So, but I do want to share with you this very, very, very important information. And if you or anyone you know that is looking to buy country property with some land, this episode will be very, very helpful, no matter where you are in the country. So be sure to like and share. And as a reminder, all of our episodes to Postscript Saturday are on our YouTube channel at Love to List. So it's a resource for you. And my plan moving forward is to do a year of these episodes. So by the end of the year, there will be 52 episodes. Oh, hey, Deb. And so anyways, today's is so important. And I relate it to something that's happening right now at Love to List. I have these really wonderful clients, that are wanting to purchase country property. They want to have their forever home. And they're coming from an area closer to Washington, D.C. So they live in an area called Alexandria. And it's, very citified in that area. And they don't have country property in Alexandria. And so these people are really new to the whole idea, and they really don't know very much about buying country property. And we found them a really gorgeous property on 10 acres. It actually is new construction. It's in the middle of being built. It has like an October delivery time frame. And but it sits over 10 acres, so it's new construction, which is an interesting aspect as well, which I can do an episode on that. But this is like doing your due diligence. How does a realtor help you, the buyer, make sure that you do your due diligence in buying country property? What are the questions? Where do you go? Where do you find the information that you need? And you don't even know what you need, right? So one of the things that I really enjoy doing is helping people, guiding them where they can find that information and walking them through the process. So we decided that they were very interested in this piece of property. And so I said, let's go down to the government center. And every state, every county has a government center that holds information about the property. So I said, let's do this together. So we go into downtown Leesburg, we go into the government center, and there's several departments there that we went to. So I'm going to go through some of them with you. Shoot, sorry, Bella's barking. Hold on. Sorry about that. Anyways, so when you go to the government center, some of the places that you want to go to. Oh, hey Terry, how you doing? When you go to the government center and you want to research a piece of property, several places that you want to go, and I'm just looking down at my notes to make sure I don't miss anything. But first and foremost, if the property has been improved on, meaning it's not just raw land, like maybe there's been some septic studies, soil studies done, maybe a septic proposal, maybe a well has been drilled, and we have that information. So I'm going to just share with you what we did with this property with these people. So we went to the environmental department, the health department. Oh, hey, Roma. And we wanted to find out what type of septic system is on that property. Now, there's the traditional type of septic, which is gravity fed, and where everything that leaves the home goes through a pipe and goes into these boxes, and then the liquid gets pushed down gravity to a drained field, and then the solids stay in the tank. That's a traditional, oh, hey, Russ, that's a traditional drain field or septic system. And then anything that is not traditional is called alternative. And alternative, there are many, 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 many different kinds of alternative systems. Traditional is usually the ideal. So we wanted to go to the health department to find out about the septic system, where the drain field is, where is it coming out of the house? What does it perk for? And a lot of people don't understand that perking, what is perking, and how do they calculate the perking? The perking, you want to know how many bedrooms the soil can handle. A lot of people think it's the bathrooms. It's not. It's the bedrooms. And they do use this calculation, 2 people per room. So if it's a 4-bedroom perk, that means that 8 people are allowed to be living in that property, if you will, 4 bedrooms, for the amount of flushes that they calculate. So you can have a 3-bedroom perk, 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom, but those are some of the questions that you want to know at the environmental department, is all about the septic system, as well as the well. How deep is the well? And also the gallons that the water runs per minute. So I believe that the county has a minimum of like 6. And then so you want to look at all those reports, and you want to look at the studies for the water, right? So that's an important place to go when you go to the government center. Another really important place to go, this particular property has an easement on the property. It's called a conservation easement, and it's an open space conservation easement, permanent. It's a one-time, that it was set up one time. And the reason why I'm saying one time is because when you have easements and then you have land use, there's different applications and there's different rules. So if you have open space land use, or if you have land use that has animals, like farm animals, and or forestry, or you're leasing it to a farmer that is haying the property or planting on the property. So there's so many different aspects of that property that you really need to learn. Land use has to do with tax credits. Conservation, there's tax credits, but there's restrictions and rules depending on which one. And if it's a one-time permanent, like this property was, you never have to reapply. But if it's land that you're farming, you have to apply every 4 or 5 years to make sure that you're continuing to get those tax credits. So helping our buyers understand, what type of easement. So we go to the county records as well. We went to the county courthouse, and we went down to the archives because the seller didn't have the information on the conservation easement. And so it was important to the buyer to find out what are the rules and regulations with that easement, because it can be restrictive. So we went to the land records, we went to the archives at the courthouse, so we went to environmental land records. We also went to natural resources, because on this particular property, there are some wetlands. And again, there are some rules and regulations that are governed federally about what you can and cannot do with wetlands. So we went to the Natural Resource Department. We also went to the Building and Zoning, because this particular property, it's one house per the acreage that's on this property, which is 10.5 acres. So could they build a barn? Can they build a detached garage? Yes, to both of those we found out, but you cannot build living quarters above that garage. You are not allowed to build any more square footage on that property for living, and there will be no exception. So they wanted to know about those type of things. Plus, even though it's a country property, it's this particular lot is a one-off in a community that is already built, and very few houses, like 10 houses, all on large parcels. But it does have an HOA. So they wanted to find out about rules and regulations about the HOA. So also, when I was talking about easements, there's the tax credit easements, but what if there's a power line easement? Or what if another landowner has access to your property, and why do they have access? What is it for? What is that easement for, that right of way, right? So it is so critical that you actually do your due diligence. Now, I don't do it for them, but they had no idea how to go about it. So spending time, we spent like a half a day, more than a half a day. It was like from 10 to 2, where we went in and we went into every department, listened to what the experts have to say, asked a lot of questions. They shared a lot of information so that they really understood the ins and outs of this property so that they could make an informed decision. Because it's one thing to go out to the country and you see, oh, I've got a beautiful view out my window. There are the mountains, right? And, I can put horses, or I can put animals, or I can do whatever I want with my land. And that's not exactly true. You really need to understand what are your restrictions, what are your responsibilities, what you can and cannot do, what are the nuances. All of that is so important and so key. So you need to do your due diligence. Go to your government county building. They are a wealth of information, and they loved every minute of it. They felt so good about getting educated and informed, as well as they thought everyone was so nice. And it's true. Our Loudoun County, downtown Leesburg Government Center, they are so wonderful to work with. They have a system. They're very professional, because when you go into the building, it is a secure building, so you have to make an appointment. So you have to get a key card to get into the elevator. So these people, if I had just said, oh, go to the government center, I mean, it's a process. And so I was delighted and so thrilled to be able to be there with them. I'm not handing them the information. We're all learning it together, because that is my role. As a realtor, I'm there to help guide them every step of the way, and I want to make sure that they are informed. So it was a great experience. I highly recommend, if you haven't done it, you're working with someone, take the time up front. It really is key when it comes to purchasing country property. So that's it. That's episode 10, doing your due diligence when buying country property. I thank you for popping in here this morning. Love seeing you guys, and I look forward to seeing you next week. And I hope, like me, you're taking advantage of some downtime. Okay? All right, everyone, take care, and we will see you next week.